life or to be even more engaged in their children's life, it will bring health and wholeness to our community. It's just flat out. You bring you what's his name? Frederick Douglass. He said it's easier to strengthen children than it is to repair a man. Well, I'm not trying to repair any man. It's enough working on myself. But I believe I've been called to encourage, to build up, to strengthen in my weakness from God Almighty, to share with men, fathers, and I don't care if you have biological children or not, I believe you are inherent to be a father role model to homes within our community. And so that is the passion that I have. John Francis, the founder of Father's Eve, sought me out. Now, how did I get all entangled with just being obsessed with this passion? Well, it started 20 years ago, actually. I started speaking in prisons first as a volunteer. My home church was Christian Life Center for 20 plus years, Pastor Stan Tharp. And Bill Glass came to our church and was looking for volunteers. And it was my birthday weekend, and I was young in the church, and they said, who would like to volunteer? And I'm thinking one day, and they said, we need you for the whole weekend. And I really was challenged to give up that whole weekend, but it changed my life. I was the prison ministry director there for over 2 years at Christian Life Center, and I recruited teams not only from that church, but local churches throughout the state of Ohio prisons, and also juvenile, as I was a volunteer jail chaplain also. And for whatever reason, I believe from my upbringing and the type of person that I have grown to become, but even as a young girl, I was good at recruiting for different things. If I believed in it, you want to come on board. Since I was 5 years old, I was told I was a mama. So I'm good at recruiting, and so I just stepped right into that position of recruiting and took teams in. And I discovered during prison ministry, and I believe if everyone can try that one time, just go in, not as a judge, but as a person with a compassion, thank you, Lord, a compassionate heart, because the foundation to increase, inspire, and motivate and encourage fathers, women too, mothers, sons and daughters, is that foundation of compassion, and that is love. And I'm all about loving unconditionally, and so I've even wrote a book I titled The Courage to Live in Love, because does take courage sometimes to love some people anyway. Dealing with fear, rejection, dealing with fear in my background, but I've learned to use fear as a motivator. And if I feel afraid, I do it anyway, even if my voice is shaking. So what I did was, from over the years, and I stopped, and John Francis found me, and I've connected with the Commissioner of Ohio, Kimberly Dent. She's over the fathers for the commission because she has a heart for the children and responsible fatherhood. And I've also connected with other organizations to partner to make a difference. And I'm in the groove, ladies and gentlemen. I am in the groove, and I'm not going to leave this groove until I take my last breath. And if the Lord can use me and others to encourage, to build up our men. The foundation, you take the foundation away, and what do you have? The increase of poverty with our kids growing up as adults, the increase of dropouts. As I am a single parent that raised kids, I have a daughter that went to her father, but I would say in my household, you're going to have an education. And the dropout rate is crazy in regards to children being raised without their dad. The number of children that goes to prison and jail is crazy because the father is not there. That is, just the numbers can go on and on and on. 1 in 4 homes are with the biological father? Come on. You guys are out there, and you are who I'm speaking with, and you men that are there in the homes. We can do this together. It's not about just, we need each other. And even more, our children need one another. So, how I'm going to do this with your help? I have a gift in social media. And right now, on all the different social sites, I have a little number compared to many others. But compared to myself, it's pretty great. It's a little less than 10,000. And so I'm looking at podcasting, and then also my next book that, since I did John Francis' event, I have a list of videos. I've done 7 short videos, since most of us, our attention span is short. So they're 3 to 5 minute videos to share with you the premise of what the book is going to be about. I'm in the process of writing right now. I'm pretty excited about it. It should be out before Mother's Day next year. I am my father's daughter, and the premise, the subtitle is to inspire fathers, and I have in parentheses mothers, because I am a mother, but the focus is on the fathers, to their children, and children, sons and daughters, because we have grown adults, men and women that are mothers and fathers, to return back to their dads. And then I got mothers. Why? I did. So I'm not talking out of theory. I'm not talking doctrine, any type of religion. It's my life. I am the guardian of my mom, who came back in my life off and on. My second marriage, well, how many? I won't share right now. But my second marriage, I was married almost 20 years. She knocked on the door with her suitcase. And my second husband never met her. And so what am I going to do? I look like her. That's my mama. I let her on in. My father is just sad. But a lot of things we did, most of our relationship was over the phone. Never underestimate the power of your voice, dads. So the conversations that we had was our relationship. And I had to literally raise money for my father's homegoing. And literally I had to fight about keeping his ashes. That's really something, a real family. You know, death brings out all kinds of things in people. But my attitude is, I'm going to love you anyway. And you may not like me, you may not love me. That's on you and the maker. I just believe in love. And so to do a podcast and potentially a radio broadcast, with there's 600,000 that's being confronted with opportunity for me. The viewers, the audio is 600,000 listeners, not counting internet. Okay, so we got the book, we got the broadcast and the podcast, and also I'm available for speaking. So, and one last thing I have as a fundraiser is my calendar. I started last year in the midst of COVID, and it was, I was pulling for teeth trying to raise money to still do what I did, no matter what. And so I created a calendar from last year, and I did really good. This is 2022, okay? And it's an inspirational calendar. You could pass it around, Jeremy, for people to see. And I'm selling them for only $20 or 2 for $35, and I'm willing to do it for organizations at a much reduced rate with your name on it, logos on it. And being a nonprofit, there is a tax write-off, in which I have everything here. Thank you for being such a great audience. I'm watching you, I'm looking at you, so I'm not going to be much longer. And this is my bio, and then this is just a snapshot of what a few people have said and John Francis have said about me, just a little bit. Any questions?
What was your aha moment? Was there something, speaking back with your father then and connecting with your father, was there a moment where something hit you, something was said that, like,
Well, many moments. That's why that article, which is going to be in the book,
okay,
it's going to be in the book, when he said, don't give yourself a title. I have not and will not. I get called pastor, evangelist. I could have had my own church. I have a couple of degrees in theological studies. And I discovered from just listening to him when he was on stage that I wish he took me with him. I understand why he didn't, but I understand now. If I was standing up, you'll see. I do have this gift that he has, a presence on stage, but it's not to show off, but to impart inspiration. And so that what he had, I have.
So you're saying that you can see so much of yourself in your father.
Yes. And one thing I can say that I'm really blessed that my mother's side of the family never talked bad about him. So it made me wonder what happened. So I went out seeking and looking for him. And he went through a process, stage of being, drinking until his health caused him to stop. So, but I was there because I've learned with my parents, my mother and my father, it's not about what they did or didn't do.
Right.
It's what I do.
That's right.
And when I take my last breath, I will be accountable for all that I did and didn't do. And that's what time it is for me. And trusting that my latter years, which where I'm at right now, it's going to be my best. And you can't outgive, bless you, you can't outgive God. And there's something about giving and giving back. And I'm thankful for Greg McAfee for supporting the ministry. Picked up a check last week. The district manager for Lowe's texted me. He's giving. He gave last year too. And I have monthly sponsors, so they believe and trust in the cause in regards to reconciliation and restoration of the family, starting with the father. I am my father's daughter.
That's a very good message.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I think sometimes the father really is not interested in being a father to the children in the first place. I think it's a matter of keeping his pants zipped up and until he's ready, mature enough, and of course part of that goes to the mother too, that they have to decide, am I ready to be a mother, or am I ready to be a father? Otherwise, better change my actions. Pretty hard to do.
Now, you say you can customize those, like put
The calendars?
yeah,
Yes, I can.
like put Civitan on it.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I love creating, so I'm pretty good at it. And during COVID, I wasn't trying to ask for something for nothing. I was already doing videos that I was encouraged to do. My sister encouraged me to do videos because I used to do DATV programs. I've been on Channel 2 and 7. I have an entertainment background, so the camera kind of liked me. And so, but I have a message, beyond my physical, that I have a message of hope. And in 2001, I didn't bring it, but 2001, Dayton Daily News did an article they labeled me as the messenger for hope. And then the city newspaper labeled me giving hope to the hopeless. So that's what I'm about. I just believe no matter what the circumstances is, no matter what, there's hope. And that hope, I believe, is in the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, you don't have to, I'm not going to say you got to be a Christian or whatever your religion or doctrine is. The bottom line is love. And if your religion expresses an unconditional love, then we are going to connect, because I've learned just by the Spirit of God, not by your religion or doctrine.
Have you ever spoken to the law enforcement agencies or high school students?
I have, law enforcement, I interviewed Chief Bill, but as far as communicating in a few high schools, I did that time. I had a different mission. None like this one. And when I stopped this a few years ago, I was told I wasn't finished. And I guess I'm not, especially
You were
when
told
people,
what?
I was informed that I wasn't finished.
Oh.
The Lord, and I wasn't
Okay.
finished.
Uh-huh.
The need is still there, it's even greater.
Before your father became an alcoholic, what kind of what was he doing professionally?
Well, see, I didn't know him until his latter years. So he was a singer, and then I think he did just trying to make a living. I think he was just a postman or something. He didn't talk it. He went through shame. I think he was embarrassed, and he didn't get paid what he felt he should have, and
he
it
a
was
vet-
kind of sad.
Was he a veteran, do you know?
I think he served a little time.
Okay.
What got him, and I love when he was encouraged by it, when he talked about his music and what happened during those years. I mean, he wrote #1 hits, so, but he went out, the way he went out, he was by himself and there was no COVID. So it was just sad. He didn't have to. When my mother came back shortly after he passed away, and this is an aha, she said that if he would have let me take care of him, he would still be alive. In which now my mother is going on 86, and I've been her caregiver, guardian for over 15 years. You see what I'm saying? I'm living what I'm talking about, and I am completely sold out. I believe even during COVID, the Lord was bringing us back around to His original purpose, and that is the family and the home. And so that's my heart cry.
So your father was a singer also.
Well, that's him,
That's him right here.
Uh-huh.
right?
Which
Yeah.
one is him?
With the heart.
And it has the heart, she has the heart around his head right there. So this
Oh, okay. I
that's
see.
her.
I got you. I missed
see
that
it.
The
heart.
gospel.
Yeah, I missed the heart.
The gospel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I have colored, but my
It's-
I have colored, but it was so expensive
Yeah.
to get
Oh,
these
yeah.
dub again. But if you send me the email, but yeah, my
Gospel.
dad, I have several of his pictures. He was
Gospel legends.
bass singer, lead guitar player, and the musical director.
And you can be all that and still not be happy, and that's what caused him to hit the
He,
bottom.
you know what? In his defense, because of just things he did not know in regards to his value, and I tip my hat off to my mother and father. Of all the children they had outside of me, they didn't marry anyone else. So I'm the only one from
There you
the
go.
original.
That's
So
neat.
that's
Thank
kind
you
of
very
special to me.
much.
You know, if you had that in PDF, you could email that with the color and everything
To you?
to anybody.
What, my flyer?
Everything. You know, the whole packet.
With who?
No, if she had it in PDF format,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
then you can shoot that to anybody, anywhere through email.
Well, I have because it could become really massive, I believe in word of mouth and people sending it out personally. And, I can create PDFs. Those are real easy. But I just created this for you for this presentation and for the President Club.
I
we'll
could
have
send
one.
it to what people weren't here.
Please,
We'll
I'll
see
send
what
it
they
to
end
you.
The reason
PDF.
is, I think it's a real opportunity for other people to help.
Sure, and I have a GoFundMe. I mean, I
it's an
have,
important message.
excuse me?
I was saying, I think it's an important message.
It's very important.
Thank you.
Because
I've done junior achievement for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I go into classrooms, it's interesting how many of the children are taught by their,
Don't whisper, Tony.
are living with their grandparents.
I found that too.
They're over 50%, like in Dayton, 50% don't have a father.
I know.
It's really, sad.
Good
I
answer.
didn't have a father when I was growing up. But I had a wonderful mother who had 5 kids. I was second oldest, and I think a mother is the base of everything if she is, strong.
Right. I've had to be strong.
Yeah.
I was made to be strong,
Right.
without sharing, other details of my history. But I'm mentoring a young lady now. She's 29. She's never met her father, and her mother is an alcoholic, and she's about to graduate with her master's, and she has a 2-year-old. So I'm coaching her. So I'm doing many things that just asking for a little bit, really a little bit. I have on here 17.5, but if I can raise a minimum 7,500, God's got me covered. He's got me covered, period. I'm here. So,
Here's another idea. Add credit card acceptance with the square.
mhm.
You familiar with that? Like when you buy something, well, somebody said, well, here, I don't have cash, or a check, but I could use a credit card.
I have that. I didn't bring it today. I didn't bring it today, but I do have Square.
Okay.
But you have my information, and also I'm going to send to you the link for GoFundMe.
You already did, I have that.
Oh, yes, I did. I texted to you. Any other questions?
You can show it on here, the GoFundMe link.
Is it in our packet?
No, I mean, I can give it to you.
Well, I
What you
wanted
mean?
to capture it here on the video.
Oh, you want me to give it to you? Give it.
Just say it.
Okay. GoFundMe.com/F/I-M-my-fathers-daughter.
Can I show that on here? Or is
Sure.
it too,
I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it. Get to see it.
here, hand it to me.
You see it?
I'll tell you.
Tony's got it together down there.
Tony's a guru with this.
I see. I'm thankful.
I've seen what you were talking about. I've seen a lot of that because I used to, not no more, but I used to work in the insurance business in East and West Dayton.
Okay.
And what Tony said about the kids living with their grandparents and the kids living in their households without a father.
I was my
And-
grandmother.
And even when my one son played football all the way from first grade all the way to college, but in his high school, I remember, his best friend lived with us for 3 years.
Wow.
We took guardianship of him, but when we were doing the senior day, his mother and father, neither one of them showed up, so he walked by himself. Then he came back around because his
Wow.
name's the D, my name is Harmon. So he came back around and walked with us. And when we were talking to all the parents, my son pointed out to me, he said, and all his kids played almost all the way from first grade up. He said, me and his mother were the only two that were still married out of all of his friends. I was like, whoa.
And that was my hope,
That's a
that I
scary
would
thing.
be married to the father of my children.
Most of the fathers weren't there though. His senior day, my
Right.
point is, but
It's
most of the
really-
moms, I knew all the moms, but most of the fathers weren't there. I was basically father to 4 or 5 of those kids.
See, that is exactly what is needed.
I would go over
It
and
does
talk to
take a
them.
village
They
to
would
raise
call
our
me up.
children.
You know how many people would call me up and say, come over and talk to this boy, he don't listen to me. And I would go over.
So you mentoring. I did an
Yeah, I did a
article.
lot of
I
mentoring.
did mentoring. I did an article mentoring all the mentors for the top 10.
You have to have my shirt at.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, Debbie Lieberman and Judge Rice and everybody, I don't know, they had this thing about reentry. And they're working on a program right now of having fathers coming, from the prisons and everything to try to reconnect with their children. And getting them a family time together. Sort of, I don't know if it's like men's stuff, but I didn't know if you knew about that group or not, and if not, if I have your permission, I could relay this to, one of the members that serves on that, outreach committee, if you'd like.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, no.
And
I mean,
there
they
might be
have
some other
different.
sources there that,
There was something really neat on national TV, CBS,
Yes.
this week where the fathers, 40 fathers, go to this school, high
Right.
school,
Yes.
and they
Saw
get all their sons and make sure all the boys in there know that they're loved and cared for, and it improved the class improved their grades, it improved their attendance, and these were
It was a difficult school.
it was a very difficult school, and
Yeah.
now they're promoting this all over the country,
Yes, I saw that. Same
and they all wear the shirts.
yellow, red. They were
Yeah,
red
and it
shirts.
had something about your father,
Yeah.
something.
Right.
I think I posted that, retweeted that on LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
you
that.
Yeah,
have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, I go back to believe that the many fathers, way too many, do not understand their value.
Mm-hmm.
One father shared with me from looking at my videos, he said, I am starting to feel like an ATM machine. Well, I believe it's your teaching. You have them come to you only
With
when
money.
they need money.
That's right.
We teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Remember who you are. Remember you have that authority. Fathers, a poem I wrote. Fathers, paving the way, you guys desires the best, has endured much test, will not candy coat the truth. You guys are the foundation of the home. Walk towards many storms to protect. Mess with your family and you will hunt and arrest. You have been given the authority to bestow identity, blessings on your family. I am my father's daughter. It's that authority.
That's right.
It's that authority that's inside of you, inside of every last one of you. But I'm talking specifically about fathers. Once you recognize who you are, it's not about just wearing some pants and you paying this bill. If you didn't have very much money, love, give them love, listen to them, let them know you're the daddy. You're not the child. And how I know, because I'm the mama of a 39-year-old and a 40-something-year-old. So
You
I
can't
am.
be more than that yourself.
I stay away from a
She
lot
was
of
13 when
chaos.
she got married.
I stay away from a lot of chaos. Yeah, I don't do it. I will have to take over that conversation if it's too much negative, or I just start praying. I just won't be a part of a lot of chaos.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
very
thank you
good.
very much.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your question.
try to have this place warmer on the 17th at the President's Club.
Oh, yeah.